Hey, what is up, you guys? I was looking down at my laptop. What's up, y'all? I don't even know why it just started like that. But what is up, my loves? I hope y'all can hear me. I'm on my earphones instead of my microphone. What's up, YouTube? I am live right now on my YouTube channel and on my Facebook. And that banner is ugly, so I had to take that off. I don't know why it's not giving me the color and the shape that I want. Oh, let me scoot over here so y'all can catch these plant vibes, because why not? What is up? So we had a really good live yesterday. What did we talk about? We talked about me. We talked about what I do. And of course, some other messages came through and stuff for you guys. So, same thing. Same thing, different day. Y'all know how we do this. Um, um, Today I want to talk about energy. We're going to talk about how real energy is. And I feel like when I say this, it sounds like I'm not really going to be saying much because everybody knows about energy. We hear this word so much, frequency, vibrations, vibes, all this stuff. Um, that might be one of my biggest frustrations, like as a for real planetary being, like as a member of this human race who remembered me not being from here and still have moments of that. I think that my most frustrating thing is like the labels and the fact that we already have a programming to certain words, so then you can't even really use the word, because when you use the word, then you know, we go with whatever it is that we were programmed with. So this is a challenge that I have in my business when people think that they know like what the meditation is that I'm doing, or if I say hypnosis, then it's I'm hypnotizing you. It's just like all these programs that we have with words and labels. I really look forward to us getting away from that. I don't know exactly how, but it's really going to have to do with us tapping into our intuition and doing more like telecommunication, using less labels and less words, okay? But yeah, we're going to talk about energy, y'all. So energy is I'll show you guys how I teach my children. Energy is a frequency, is a mood, is a vibe, is a feeling. These are synonyms for each other. They are not different. You should not separate energy, mood, frequency, feeling, vibe. I know I'm missing like two more, but you should not separate these things because they are all one thing. You should not do the human thing and separate them because they're all one thing. Everything around us has it. And if you've been following me for a minute, then you see me talk about this because I talk a lot about the energy that we get from these devices through social media that I know a lot of us don't think is real. I'm going to prove to you today how real it is. And I'm going to first talk about the sensitivity of energy when you are a woman, more specifically when you're pregnant. So I had my first child when I was 18. And one of my first experiences, I definitely had a lot more of these similar experiences before I got pregnant. But just like when a woman is on her period, just like when a woman is pregnant, we are a lot more sensitive. Sensitive is another word for psychic and intuition. These words should not be separate. They should always be the same thing because they mean the same thing. So, when you're pregnant, you're super sensitive. So I'm young as hell. I'm 18. I don't know nothing about energy, frequency, or nothing like that. This was the first time that I really was able to see just how highly intuitive I get while pregnant. And this is around MySpace days. So MySpace was the thing for everybody. Moco Space hadn't even came out yet, if y'all know about Moco Space. And we had a computer room. We were living in Atlanta. We had a computer room. And I remember that after maybe like, I'm going to say about 3 months into my pregnancy, or I should say, it definitely was happening throughout my entire pregnancy. But when I started to connect the dots, it probably wasn't until I was about 6 months. And I realized that every time I went past the computer room, I would get really, really sick. I would start wanting to vomit. I would feel like feelings of like depression. I would feel anger. I would feel sadness. And I just noticed that it would only happen during the time of me going past the computer room. It was so weird. But what was in the computer room was the computer, and what was always on the computer was MySpace. So quickly I connected the dots and I was like, oh my God, it's the people in MySpace. And I know this sounds crazy. I'm just explaining what's happening to all of us. Only some of us can feel it where it's so strongly, and it can like, it affects you immediately or so strongly. But it affects all of us. It's just that everybody's body is different. Everybody's intuition is different. Our abilities and stuff like that is on different levels, right? So I knew that when I was 18. I was like, damn, there's something about being able to pick up people's energy from MySpace. And ooh, I don't know why it's saying that I won't get your comments on YouTube. Let me go to my YouTube channel real quick. So so then fast forward, and this is happening every single pregnancy, to the point where when I had Nkosino, my last child, everybody who knows me, first of all, when I'm pregnant, I am disconnected from the world. I'm barely on social media because I feel the energy way too strongly. And I kind of like isolate myself for the most of the pregnancy. Like my family doesn't really see me, and I'll be happy as hell, like in my own little pregnancy world. Like that's how it had been. But people know that my energy is so sensitive and I get really, really sick. I end up developing HG. And I do have a philosophy about women that have HG being highly psychic, super sensitive, empathical women. It's just that your sensitivities just grow stronger because you're carrying a child now. So by the time I had Coast, which was 6 years ago, if you were going to be around me, you had to have your phone facing down. Yes, that's how strong the energy is. If someone's phone, most of the time, if you had your phone in the room, period, but if I could handle it at all, if you had your phone facing down, then I wouldn't feel it. I can't explain this, y'all. You can call me crazy if you want to, but it's just what it is. Energy is very real. And I'm one of those people that feel the energy through this platform, through all of the platforms on social media. There's a different kind of empaths. Like there's animal empaths. There's world empaths. There is objective empaths that feel energy through objects and stuff like that. And if you're an empath, then you are more than one of those things. But stepping away from this traditional, trendy term empath, I'm just talking about someone being highly sensitive. And I'm talking about if you are a woman, when you get pregnant or when you're on your period, we got to stop acting like there's not a thing that happens with your intuition, with your energy. I mean, because it does, and you can really pick it up. So that's just kind of to prove to you guys how real it is. Because unless I'm just making it up in my head, and every pregnancy I'm just pretending like I'm feeling people's energy, then we know that that's a real thing. But then also, I started to really, really get a real sense of how real energy is and how important it is for you to protect yourself when I started doing readings for people. And now, technically, I have been being affected by energy since I was a child. And for a long time, it wasn't until I was like in my early 20s and I learned what empath was. It wasn't until I was able to get a grip on my anxiety and picking up on people's energy. That's why I say if you're a multi hyphenate, if you're an empath, you need to know these labels. It's just some things that you don't need to be going through life not knowing that you are, because you will think that you're crazy or you'll just be lost in the sauce, and you need to know what the things are, so like what the symptoms are and the patterns and stuff. So when I found out that I was an empath, it gave me a lot of closure, because I understood why I would be like 10 years old, in my teen years, and I would be so happy like hanging out with my friends or whatever, and then as soon as the energy would split, as soon as I would leave from them, I would feel these feelings of like depression and anger and sadness. And after so many years of me going through this, like by the time I made it to my like early teeny years, I started to be like, something is so wrong with me because I know that this is not how I feel. I'm like, I'm happy, I'm feeling good. Like, why would this feeling be coming up for me? And I didn't know until my early 20s, and I found the word empath, that it was coming up because it was other people's energy. I do remember questioning that as a child. I do remember being like, maybe it's not mine, but then that sounds crazy when you don't know anything about energy. So I was just like, nah, something's just wrong with me, like so definitely when I started reading people, and I really didn't even know that I was going to read people, and I didn't know that that was going to happen like that when I did. Now, I talk a lot about this because if you're dealing with anxiety, if you are dealing with overthinking and anxiety, if you were always called the sensitive or the dramatic child, if you are very sensitive, then there's a huge chance that you are just psychic. And that's why you're experiencing that. That means that you need to protect yourself. Y'all probably tired of hearing me say this, but it's a real thing. A lot of you guys are dealing with problems that you don't even have to deal with. You're having anxiety and you're overthinking and you're having panic attacks that you don't know are panic attacks. And you're just not protecting yourself. You're just really leaving the house every day. You're talking to your partner, communicating and interacting with your kids, and you haven't actually placed a shield from their energy to block that out. And this isn't like no mumbo jumbo spiritual shit. This is why I started with the story about when I'm pregnant, because I want you guys to see that there's real live events that take place. You know that energy is real because you know how you feel after you are with someone, after you spent the day with someone or a few hours. You If you pay attention, you can tell how a person makes you feel. You can tell if you feel more enlightened and more excited after you with them, if you feel fulfilled and happy, or you can tell when you feel a little drained, when you feel a little like off, like what is that? You should do that every single time you leave a place or a person. You should practice, how do I feel? Like tapping into your inner dialogue. This is the inner dialogue that neuroscientists say that 50% of us don't have. And I would argue that what they really meant to say, if y'all ever seen the viral post that says neuroscience said that 50% of us don't have an inner dialogue, what they really meant to say is that all of us have an inner dialogue. They should have said that 50% of us aren't tapped into it. So you tap into your inner dialogue, which is just your inner higher self, your higher consciousness, by stopping and asking those questions. How do I feel right now? What am I feeling? What is this conversation making me feel like? What is this person? This person is looking at me, or I just got them having sex with this person, or whatever the thing is. You're just tapping in and you're asking, how am I feeling right now after that interaction? This is going to help you tap into your intuition, and this is going to help you to check yourself when you, very spiritual, very sensitive empath being, are out here in the world not protecting yourself. And you don't understand why you have anxiety all the time and why you're so afraid of yourself. You're self-sabotaging yourself. All these different things that come with this. And the whole time you're just highly intuitive, and you're just ignoring the fact that you must protect yourself. You must meditate every single day. It really is important, guys. I know it sounds so corny and cliche. I'm definitely not here for the aesthetics of the spiritual journey. I'm here to um I'm here for me. I'm here I'm here to make sure that I'm protecting my energy, and I'm doing the work for me so that I can respond to my children in a healthy way, so that I can react to Earth's template and all the surprises that come up with my life in a healthier, more conscious way, so I can really see what's going on behind the veil versus on the surface, because I'm always so antsy and so emotional, and I never calm down my nervous system, and I never get my energy intact. And I live with someone who's really negative, or I'm with someone who has a negative mindset, or my mother or my father is really negative, and I'm just out here open every day, just allowing for everyone to pour and spill into me. And then I'm trying to figure out why I want to drink all the time, or I need to smoke all the time, or why I can't meditate, why my attention can't focus, why I can't remember my dreams. All these things is like, I would say that, like, oh my God, over 70, 80% of you guys are experiencing what I just described. And it's because you guys don't know that you're highly intuitive, you're psychic, and we've been taught about meditation in such a mediocre, basic ass way that we think that meditation is for like calming you down. We think that it's for calming the body, and really it's for you to plug in to source. It's your plug-in time. It's your quiet the chatter in your brain mind, so that you can regulate your feelings, so that you can really like process what you are and then go out into the world. I hope that made sense. It's so much in one. Hey, hey. Okay, I have to check comments on Facebook like this, y'all, because Facebook be hating on me. Comments on Facebook. Oh. So yeah, it's definitely a thing. Like, we really be sleeping. And I'm gonna tell you, if you are someone who is highly intuitive and you're watching this, if you know deep inside that you're a medium, maybe you don't really know, maybe you're in denial, and you just have an inclination of it. I don't know. But if you are, and if you're ignoring messages like this that are telling you that you should be doing something, some type of regimen to protect yourself and to get your energy right, you are going to keep on having experiences where your energy is going to be off. You're going to keep on meeting energy vampires. You're going to keep on having this situation. It's going to go on forever and ever until you get your shit together, until you realize that you really are a soul having a human experience. And even if you're not that deep or that sensitive, you need to be doing this. But especially if you are, until you be like, okay, for real, I gotta stop playing. Like, until you have that conversation with yourself and you're willing to start meditating for 10 minutes a day, or whatever the regimen is that you think you really need to meditate. But yeah, you're going to keep on running into stuff, especially if your calling is to do mediumship work. I've told the story on here before about how I went into this No Boundaries house. The people that my bro here, Felix, that I was working with, you guys have probably seen me and him on live together on the videos. We were bringing Americans here to vacation, and he has a company called No Boundaries. And so the first time that I worked for No Boundaries, he hired me to first do the camera work, like the video work, pretty much just vlogging, getting paid to vlog and have a great time in villas and on the boat. And then later I started doing like spiritual work with the people that come over here. But that first time, it was crazy because I didn't go to like traditional college. I didn't go to college on a dorm. I had never been like in a space of people that I didn't know, in a house all together at one time. And so I had no idea. If Jennifer is watching this, shout out to my galactic sister, Jennifer. Jennifer is an amazing psychic. And Jennifer used to tell me, she used to be like, Dayla, she used to tell me what I'm telling y'all now, okay? She used to be like, you are so highly intuitive. You need to protect yourself. I feel like probably days or weeks before I went into the house with them, she was like, you're going to experience something where it's going to really fuck with you. And you're going to see that what I'm saying, that you need to be carrying something with you. You need to be doing a protection thing for real. And I was like, yeah, I know. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know. I feel like I had to be doing something because I've been meditating for years, but it wasn't like this thing that I'm gonna share with y'all, like a for real protection thing. So anyway, I go into this house. Now I already know because I am who I am. So any circle that I am the weirdo. Okay. I embrace that title full on with no regrets. Okay, I know I'm gonna be the odd one. I have to bring my yoga mat, so I know I'm gonna be the one like doing yoga or whatever the hell, right? So when I went in there, I remember telling myself, now mind you, I'm not like, I'm a part of the staff, but my job is just to record and have a good time, like to blend in with the people, with the guests, and just to get really good footage so that people don't feel like I'm like with my camera, like all in their face. They feel like we're just, you know, kicking it, that this is my job description, right? So I already tell myself that they're like, don't go in this house and be the weird one. Just do your shit, you know. I'm like, you know, do your little work and then you go to your room and, you know, you could interact with the guests a little bit and then just go back to your room. But I already felt like I was going to be I know that when I go places, I feel people's energy. So I knew it was going to be a thing, but I didn't know it was going to be on this level. So long story short, I go into the house and on like day 2, I'm feeling it. Like I'm feeling everybody's energy. It's coming so strong. It's coming so strong that I cannot hold myself. Like I cannot control the things that I have to say. Now, mind you, I have lived my whole life doing this and not having to tell people what I can feel and what I see, not having to share if I can well, for a long time, when I was hearing people's thoughts, I was telling them. And that's because I was shocked and I wasn't ready. I wasn't realizing that I was hearing people's thoughts. So I got some stories about that I'll probably share. But by this time, which was just like 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, I understood that I wasn't doing that no more. And I just had control, I felt like. But I was not able to control myself, you guys. I was walking up to people like, hey, excuse me, I'm so sorry. You are going to do this, and this is going to happen with you. And if you are doing this, then da-da-da-da-da, and this. And I was just like, oh my God, it was horrible. I just wanted to be normal, and I was the freak. And so, what I do appreciate about this experience, though, is that everybody accepted me. You know, when you are Black and you are in a circle of other amazing, beautiful Black people, you are not always accepted when it comes to this level of spirituality. And if for any of you Black and brown girls and boys who were very different, if you were the child that was like seeing things and feeling things, and if you were like the nerd child and stuff like that, you know that you were outcasted, right? If you were sensitive and all this other shit. So I was just not trying to be that person, y'all. And I was that person more than I had ever been. And I think it was so divine because everybody really received me. I didn't get anybody like acting like I was how I felt like I was. I was like, oh my God, like I hate this. But they actually did very well with like validating for me about what I was sharing and confirming and stuff like that. And what ended up happening though is like I left and I just started feeling so weird. Like I could just feel everybody's energy with me. And this is why I'm very verbal about this, because there are some of you who experience stuff like this. And sometimes you really have panic attacks and you don't even know that it's a panic attack. You're just like emotional and you might be like crying. You don't even really know why you're crying, or you think it's because of something else. You start having like really like weird thoughts, really negative thoughts, all types of stuff. And you just don't know that it's because you are highly intuitive and you picked up on people's energy. So I transitioned from this home into going back to my house. And for a few days, I'm feeling this way. And I'm on and off social media. And y'all know me. If y'all been with me for a minute, you know I don't give a damn what I'm saying. Like I don't be like posting stuff and deleting it and oh my God, I can't say this, yada yada yada. So that's not even me. And I pay attention to myself. Like I'm always in my inner dialogue. It is a natural thing. My inner dialogue is very loud for me. That's really who Source is. So naturally, a few days later, like I know already that my anxiety is up, and I reach out to Jennifer and I'm like, hey, I just left this house. I've been reading for people. I did not want to be the weirdo. I just want to be normal. Like, I hate this, you know, and I'm already feeling some kind of way. And she's helping me and coaching me through this and stuff. Jennifer is not Black, by the way. I am putting emphasis on this because I think it is so it's just so like, it's so frustrating to be black and be spiritual because you're always ostracized and you're always like, you know, a lot of us are not on the level that we need to be on because we're black. And it's like we don't have, especially if you like on your black power stuff and you don't know that there's other people of other ethnicities that are supposed to be helping you, because in some other cultures it's just more accepted. So I say unapologetically, if it wasn't for a lot of the white women in my life, I would not be on the spiritual level that I am on. And that's just what it is. Like, y'all can't be mad if y'all want. But when it comes to the circles of black women and men and the level that I came through here as, it's just, it hasn't been what makes me feel safe enough to reach the heights that I have reached in my spiritual journey. And I mean the depths of seeing things, hearing things, feeling things, the thing that I'm describing right now. It's just a lot of, I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I made a post about it one day when I was talking about Terrence Howard and what's that brother name? Something Carson. Is it Billy Carson? I made a post about it when I talked about how we were so harsh on them and like making fun of them and all of this because they were saying some stuff on YouTube and they were speaking to a lot of us, but normally they're speaking to other people and they don't get the reaction that we gave them. So that's definitely a thing. But so anyways, this is happening. She's coaching me through it. And then after a few days, it's almost as if my openness and my anxiety that I already had just shifted into social media, which is normal. I take breaks every single year from these platforms because I know how open and sensitive I am. You are the same way. You just are not connecting the dots, or you're just not connecting the dots. God damn it. That's really the answer. That's really what the answer is. You're not connecting the dots. So I'm very aware that this is a thing, and this is a thing for all of you guys. So anyways, I am starting to feel even more anxiety. Within like 3 days, every single day, my anxiety goes up and up. And what I'm noticing about myself is that on social media, I'm like being afraid to say stuff. Again, I'm never afraid to say what the hell I want to say. So why am I like at this time? I'm like making a post about something, and then I'm like, oh my God, what did I say? Oh my God, are people going to think like this? And then I delete it. And I'm like, I'm talking about, y'all, something as simple as like, today is a beautiful day. Like the sun is shining. Like just typing out the sun is shining. And I'm literally having anxiety about the words, the sun is shining. Oh my God, are they going to think that I'm saying it like this? I don't have these experiences. Now I know because I've been coaching people for over 12 years, I know that this is a thing, but not for me. I talk my shit and I just be like, whatever it is, you take it how you gonna take it, okay? So I'm really noticing that something is extremely wrong with me. And as the days go on, it gets worse and worse until I just end up freaking out. I'm just like on the third day after coming back, I am like freaked out. And I start to question my entire existence. I'm like, is this real? I start to even think about the times that I was hearing people's voices, thoughts, or that I have like just known things and read people when I didn't expect to. And I started to question if that had ever really happened. Now, if you are not highly intuitive or psychic, and if you haven't had something like this, then you're just going to think I'm crazy hearing this story probably, and that is perfectly fine. But what I'm describing to you is what mediums go through in their beginning journey, and they never talk about it. Now, almost all my friends are psychic and mediums, so I've had this, like, close friends, so I've had this discussion with them. Shout out to Paula if you're watching, because me and Paula talked about this a few months ago, and Paula is a Cardamancy intuitive, and she talked about how come we don't have circles where we're talking about this kind of thing, because a lot of the people who have committed the crime of leaving this earth on their own, I'm censoring my words, a lot of people who have those thoughts are people that are just highly intuitive. They are psychic. and they go through these same experiences that I am describing to you, and they don't know, they don't have a safe circle, and they think that it's about something else like money or the struggle or whatever the hell, or sometimes they just have no idea. Those stories that we hear when people are like, I didn't even know, they were just happy and yada yada yada. It's not always someone who is crying out. A lot of times it's someone who was highly intuitive and they were like feeling weird about themselves. A lot of people are in the psych ward right now, that are highly intuitive, or they were at least at some point. Their family or someone sent them there because they were seeing things and feeling things, and people don't know how to handle it. So anyway, that's what was happening, and I was tripping. I was like, really, really like, did this really happen? Like, I called up one of my exes and I was like, do you remember that day that we were getting that hotel and I heard that white man think about, I heard him think the thoughts, I'm not giving a room to these niggers. I heard him think it, but I wasn't ready. I was young and I just didn't know what was happening with me. And I heard him think it and I was shocked. And I said, why would you say that? And I just said it out loud. And I just was so, and he was like, what? He was like, I didn't say nothing. My ex was like, he didn't say nothing. And I was like, yeah, but he thought it. You thought it. You just thought it. And I was just like, it was just a whole thing, y'all. I was trying to call corporate, like, I know, and he didn't give us the room. I was like, yeah, you're not giving us the room because you just thought it. You just said I'm not giving the room to these niggas. It was a whole thing. So that definitely happened. It was definitely real. And in this moment of me having this anxiety attack, I'm calling my ex to be like, did that happen? And he's like, are you okay? He's like, yes, that happened. What the hell? That happened. It was a lot of things that happened that you did and that you seen. Like, what? But I was really just like questioning it all. So I ended up reaching out to one of my friends here. She is Senegalese American, and her uncle is a shaman here. He's like a big, well-known medium shaman. And she tells me that she's like, I don't know what the hell you talking about, Dayla, but what you're describing is what my uncle described when he was younger and they put him in the crazy home here. So she's like, now everybody is going to him for answers and yada yada yada. She's like, I think we should go to him because he can probably understand, more than me, more than anybody else. So that was pretty cool. We ended up going to him. He is Senegalese, so he doesn't speak any English, but he did tell me some things. He told me things about like me seeing things 10 years ahead and people thinking that I am crazy until the things actually happen. I think y'all know that's my life. And he shared a lot of other things with me. And it was just really, really cool to have that experience, like to go through the training, because we're all in training for something, and to really see how real energy is. And now, before that happened, going back a little bit, before I contacted my friend, when I was still speaking to Jennifer, Jennifer was like, okay, like do some breathing. I'm like, I know I'm picking up on people's energy from social media. So I'm like, but this is feeling more than what I have ever felt before. It's feeling like way too strong. And so she's like, okay, like do some breathing, yada, yada, yada. And in the middle of me breathing, I'm like asking source, I'm like, give me an answer, like tell me what it is that I need to do. Like, how come I went from having this anxiety after reading these people and then doing this? And then I finish my meditation and I go to my phone, and right away on my phone is a link to Pat Longo's YouTube. So if you know who Pat Longo is, I talk about Pat Longo. She's one of my teachers. She is the world-renowned psychic trainer in New York, and she taught a lot of people that are like famous now. And she, I found in the moment of me having this panic attack, I open up my eyes, I get on my phone. There's a link of Pat Longo's YouTube channel. And on this video on the channel, she's talking about how to get rid of anxiety. She's saying that you have anxiety because you are psychic. She is promoting her book that is called The Gift Underneath Your Anxiety. I actually have somebody borrowing that book right now. Otherwise, I would show y'all what it looks like. Pat Longo. You guys see me talk about this book a lot. And I love that so many of you guys have gotten the book after watching me talk about it. Mm-hmm. I love seeing y'all's messages about the book helping you. It's just so important. And so she has this technique of how to protect yourself. And immediately while I'm in the middle of this panic attack, I'm doing the technique and the whole thing goes away. That's how I was able to have the conversation with my homegirl that took me to the shaman. But fast forward to today, that was like almost 3 years ago. And Pat Longo is my whole teacher. And that's crazy because I did not try to make that happen. I did not try to make a connection with Pat. I did not try to like have her in my life. And she's actually a really good friend of mine now. And that's amazing. That's fucking amazing for me, y'all, because y'all do not know like what I have been through. Okay. Pat has this class that she doesn't advertise where she puts people in a room. She puts mediums. She chooses people that she feels like da 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 da, this whole thing. And then she tells you, you got to come into this class. You go to this class, and she's not really teaching anything necessarily, but she puts you in these rooms, and we read each other for like 15 minutes, right? So this has been really, really instrumental in me getting rid of like the anxiety that I feel when I am picking up on people's energy. One of the biggest misconceptions about empaths, because remember I talked about the words, we get so caught up on the word that we don't understand that all that we're saying when we say that you're an empath is you are a highly sensitive being, you are a psychic. And if you're an empath, if you're a psychic, if you're a highly sensitive being, if you are not any of those things, you are still a soul having a human experience, and you still pick up on other people's energy. So that means that you're a psychic, because that's how we're all psychics, guys. Like you're able to feel people as if their feelings and their thoughts are yours. If you're an empath, you just do it a lot more. So that's pretty much what she does. She just has a room where she switches, and we share things, like we'll share any kind of spiritual thing that happened, or if we read whatever readings that we did or something throughout the week. Now the funny thing about this, which is not funny at all, is that I went to this Zoom thing I'm talking about for, I'm gonna say, like 4 months. These are people all around the world. Like, Pat is a big deal. If you look at Pat Longo, she's a big deal. There was never another Black girl in any of those classes, or a Black man. It was always somebody that wasn't Black. Every single class, it's me and 8 to 13 other people, and I am the only Black one every single time. What? I'm talking about a big, huge, like, woman, like a platform, like a big spiritual thing. Like, we should be in circles like that. But the thing is that you guys have seen me share this message before. We are so caught up on doing ancestral stuff. We're so caught up on connecting with our ancestors and doing the altars and things like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what your vibe is, then you got to do that. But we are being called to expand outside of that. We are being called to implement, or add in the spiritual gifts that we have that are not of this world, that are of a higher stature. Tapping into beings that haven't reincarnated. If you think about the ancestor altars and things, we're talking about entities that have been here and that have passed, and they require things. They require food still. They deal with jealousy. You got to make sure you don't put your grandma with your auntie that had beef, and you got to make sure. Now, again, nothing wrong with this. I come from a family of women that were all about this life, so I have a great respect for this. But it's definitely been a message that my guides have wanted me to share multiple times, that just to encourage us to expand outside of that. Because we're talking about beings that are on a certain earthly lower frequency, versus up here where the frequency is more about manifesting things through how you feel, through feeling joy and feeling love. It's more so about your heart and your mind. It just gets a little bit more in depth about you, like the I am parts of you, versus manifesting things through writing stuff down and doing the candles and putting the egg here and doing all the, whatever the thing is, whatever, going to the crossroads, spinning around 2 times, spitting across your shoulder, cutting the chicken's head off. Again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with any of these things. I'm just saying that for us, for the Black folk, we are stuck in a, oh, here goes my charger. We are stuck in a loop of this ancestor spirituality practices. I'm sorry, y'all. I need to plug in my laptop charger. We are stuck in this loop. And I actually created a space like what I'm talking about that Pat had. It's on my website, but nobody signs up. I don't even think that many of us are ready to be in a room and just start reading each other. Like unless you're already a psychic and you're already like doing that. But so many of us we're so far removed from star seed like spirituality. We're so caught up on us being slaves and what the white man has done to us, and paying back what was done and stuff. Hold on, let me check these comments. So let me know if y'all have any questions. Yes. All right, second, checking these comments. If you are enjoying this live, please share it, like it, hit the thumbs up. If this is a good live for you, a good conversation. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all, if I'm not getting your comments on Facebook. For some reason, they always come in at the very last minute. But yeah, just really, I think this is just really about taking energy more serious. It's one of the things that we do where it's like, I always say that I know somebody is really disconnected when you're dealing with a medium or with someone that is highly intuitive, and you're trying to lie, or you're trying to like be slick and like do something that's like really obvious. You're trying to gaslight or like move around, like talk in circles on somebody. Like, we do that though. Like, humans be moving like that because we don't understand how real energy is. We don't understand that it doesn't take a spiritual person. Like, it doesn't have to take a person that's into spirituality for them to pick up on what you're doing, for them to know stuff. This is why I posted earlier. I was like, I am convinced that a lot of us are not that good at reading people, because if y'all can't see the evilness in Kamala, y'all can't see that. I'm just saying, y'all can't see that. Like, take away her being a Black woman and all the strive and the thing that we've been through that I totally understand and agree. But just the energy, though, just the energy of it. Take away all the aesthetics of everything. I know you see that. I know you see her sneaky energy. I know you can feel that she is not herself on that stage at all. I don't care about the elections, by the way. So I'm not about to sit on here and debate you about the president. I don't care about who's going to be the president. But I'm just saying, though, we really be playing like energy is not real. We be acting like energy doesn't affect us, like energy vampires. And it's because of the word. It's because when you hear energy, you think of something that is just like unseen, and it's just not really that deep all the time. It's just like only the aesthetics of it is deep, or like to our certain conveniences, I guess you can say. But an energy is a mood, is a frequency. When you've been at somebody's house, you've been vibing with somebody for the first time, and you be like, I don't really like her vibe. Like, you're talking about energy, you're talking about frequency. And what you're saying is that her frequency was pushed out to yours, and it gave you a mood. Like, her mood and her feeling affected yours, because we're all connected. We're all super spiritual beings. We're the first AI. This AI that we're seeing now that's artificial intelligence. We are the intelligence. You said she's not even black though. Who? She's biracial, majority Indian. Who? Who you talking about? I'm trying to think. Who did I mention? Oh, okay, Kamala. That's right. Exactly. I wasn't gonna go there. She's West Indian and Jamaican. I wasn't gonna go there because why the hell can't we get a black American president? Don't you find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? Like we can't just get somebody that got one parent that's from our country. Like, come on. But I wasn't even gonna go there. It's so many things. It's so many things. Come on, like sis be soaking her greens in the tub, like black people. If that didn't tell us, we got to be able to admit that we don't have any good options. That's it. Like, don't choose the lesser. There is no lesser evil. Like, it just is what it is. But yes. Yeah, so energy being real, you guys. Protect yourselves. I don't play about my energy. Like, I really don't play. I put my energy comes first. It comes before my children. It comes before everybody on this earth. If I don't do it in that order, then I'm not going to be able to show up for my children. The reason why I'm able to respond to my children in the way that I wish my parents always responded to me, the reason why I'm able to be present with them and be intentional with them is because I put my energy first. I put the piece of my peace of mind first. So it's like that, like real simple. I don't even do business if it's not easy. I will say sorry. I don't give a damn how much you was gonna pay me. I'm not doing it because energy is that real, and I'm not messing. I'm not doing no energy. I mean, no business or anything with someone that has off energy. If I don't feel good when I leave you or after we talk, then I'm not doing it. I promise you, it's just not happening because it's just too risky for me. Risking my anxiety that I no longer have been having. Also, if you connect with my story, with what I just described, then the ways that you get through this is by you um, protecting yourself. If you guys would like me to show you a way to protect yourself that I learned from Pat, then I will show you that. Let me know. Um, and and also you doing your spiritual gift. You need to do that. You need to get it on out. You need to. It's like an itch that you don't even know that you have. You need to do the readings or do the healing thing or do the thing. You gotta get to it and you gotta push through it and get it so that so that on the other side you don't have that experience so much. When I started being forced to read people, I'm gonna keep it real because I never wanted to do this. I was definitely forced. And so when I started being forced to do this, it was bringing a lot of anxiety. And I hope Pat can come in here because she will say, woo, baby. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't like this. This ain't feeling good. I'm feeling crazy, like all types of stuff. And as I continued to push through, though, it went away. Okay, the Most High is my option. I heard that. My father was also biracial, and being Jamaican is a nationality. You can be a white Asian Jamaican. How have you handled conflicting beliefs between spirituality and religion if you practice? This is a good question. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me say real quick. You are right, Ja. In my opinion, most definitely. Same thing with Obama. Like, how come we couldn't get just a Black American president? Like, we should feel got by that. Like, as Black Americans, we should feel weird about that. It's kind of like how all these like so many athletes or artists get with a Black woman that's like she's really mixed, or they always light skinned. And then y'all be acting confused when somebody is like, how come they don't get like a black woman? Like, how come that's just not normal? Like, it's like that same thing. It's like, okay, yeah, they got black in them. Okay, yeah, she grew up in California. Nah, nah, nah. But how come it's just not a black American? Like, why is that? And how come this thing started off with just two options? That's not that don't seem no, that don't seem weird to y'all. Like, you don't find that suspicious at all? I keep on getting these messages that. Okay. So let's go to this question here. How have you handled conflicting beliefs between spirituality and religion if you practice? It's been a long minute. It's been like 12 years. I actually started off my journey. I'm gonna call it a spiritual journey because the religions are still spiritual. I really try to get away from all these labels with this because everybody, whatever you believe in, is spiritual. Whether you are a Christian or Muslim or whatever, there's so many practices of that you do that is spiritual. Me and the kids were just talking about how bad when we see the Muslims out here praying and they have their mat out and they're going down and they're going back up and they're going down again, doing the whole thing. We just want to tap them on the shoulder and be like, good job with your yoga. Like, you're doing yoga right now, bruh. Like, just say it. Like, it's okay. Like, this is yoga. So you find spiritual practices in every single religion, but let me go back and think about where like how that happened, because I was in the church and I actually wanted to be a pastor. I was like gun ho. Anything I do, I'm doing it for real. So now my parents were never religious. They never cared if I believed in this or that. But my auntie, who helped raise me for the first like 10 years of my life, may she continue to travel in peace and be here with me. She was very religious. She was a Christian, and so she was really big on that. Like, we were saying, we were what you call it. We were memorizing scriptures and we had to like present them every night. We were going to church Sunday on Wednesday and all that. So the programming that I received from religion was when I was a child with her, but it wasn't so strong because even though she was very consistent, my parents didn't care about that. They were very much more free spirit. So I didn't have to get into religion if I didn't want to. I chose to. By the time I was like, pretty much when I got married, like, so my early 20s, I was like, we should go to church. And so we got into the church and I started teaching the youth. I wanted to learn the Bible like I know me, because I wanted to make sure that what I am believing in, I really understood, and I knew that I needed to teach my children. So what actually got me out of religion was going deeper into it, which is kind of funny, because I started to read that Bible, baby. I was going to school to be a pastor. I was just enrolling in school, and I really understood the Bible well already, but I wanted to understand it from my perspective. So I got like different Bible translators, and I was going in. And then I started being like, wait a minute, hold on. I was like, Pastor, why do the Bible say right here that if they cut a tree down in the woods and bring it into their house and decorate it, those people are heathens? Like, why did God call those people heathens? And is there not two trees in this church? And he was like, no. It's not the same thing, because we're not worshiping the church. I mean, we're not worshiping the tree. We're not worshiping it. And we didn't cut this tree down. And I'm like, yeah, but see, now my auntie, who was all about natural, organic stuff, we cut our tree down. We wasn't getting no fake tree from the store. When I was living with her, the tree was real. We was cutting it down from the woods, decorating it. And what do you do with the tree? You want everybody to see the tree. You place presents under the tree. Essentially, you do worship the tree. It's the focal point in the house for that time, and it's a whole thing, right? I'm not going to get into that because I don't care about the whole debate of that. But I'm just sharing my story, right? And so it was that made me start to really question the Bible, because I was reading it for myself for the first time, like word for word, chapter to chapter, book to book. And then it was what was happening with Monsanto at the same time, or even a little bit before that. Within a year, within me being into the church, my ex-husband and I, we bought our first home. And so we were like really big on like, at least I was really big on getting my garden together, right? So the soil was just dirt, and the grass wouldn't grow. So I remember going to um, Home Depot and getting this Roundup or something from a company called Monsanto. And then, like the next day, like we put it on the ground, and the next day the grass is growing like it looked like it never had any kind of drought or anything of grass. So fast forward, I'm listening to NPR, and I start hearing them talk about farmers suing the government for these Monsanto seeds, because they're making them put the Monsanto seeds inside of the food, like they're making them grow their crops with Monsanto seeds. And it kind of takes me down this rabbit hole of health, of like, this is like, let me see what year this was like 2011 maybe. And um and it takes me down this rabbit hole of how the food is. Back then, they were already talking about what they're doing now, as far as like cloning meat and doing like 3D meat and stuff like that. And I was just like, how come this ain't in the Bible? I was like, what, my pastor, like, we got diabetes, we be eating pigs in a blanket at church all the time. I'm like, why is nobody talking about this? This can't be the right way, because health is a big problem in the church. I know this because I'm in it, and nobody is talking about how we need to be fighting for these genetically modified foods that are coming in and stuff. And so that's what actually brought me out. And honestly, it was just the truth that set me free. I didn't have any like, I had contrast from people like me leaving the church. The church really expected me to like come forward and like kind of like take the reins and teaching certain things. And I was kind of already doing that. So I know that my pastor was upset about that. But I kind of got lucky because I left the city at the same time. So that was like a good excuse, because we had went from Oklahoma to California. So I was able to like really go through my awakening without all the distraction. I don't have family that cares about what I believe in. So it wasn't, I shouldn't say that, because I damn sure when I went through my awakening, they cared. Then I was demonic for homeschooling my kids and a bunch of others. Then they cared. But but other than that little bit of contrast though, which is everybody that was against me and that was like trying to say that this isn't right, is definitely people that understand it now. And if they haven't already apologized and they've asked me questions about it, or they're on the other side of, who we really are. So I really didn't have any conflict. I made sure that I didn't hop around though. I remember, when you're finding out that what you have believed is not the truth, you kind of go down this rabbit hole of that, and then it can lead you into another rabbit hole of another belief and another. So a lot of people, at least I think, Alsan, I think you're here in Senegal. Alsani, I don't know if that's you. But in America, we go from like Christianity to like the Hebrew thing to like the Israelite thing to like the, like a lot of people do. I'm so grateful that my guys were like, nah, we ain't got to do all that. Not saying that it's anything wrong if that's your journey, but you don't got to do all of that. That's really just you trying to hold on to the concept of like, maybe you've realized that this wasn't true, but then you want to hold on to Jesus or certain things like that. And I mean, Jesus was a you. Jesus was a me. Jesus was, or Yahweh, whatever you want to call him, was an influencer. Like so many people who did Reiki, who healed, and who meditated for long hours at a time, so that he could tap in. It doesn't have to be like the hoopla, You can really like condense things and normalize it and just tap in too. You can sit with yourself and trust what comes to you. But for me also, my journey into awakening was a lot different because, mind you, again, like as a child, I was already speaking to extraterrestrials. So really young is where I started to say Earth is school, because they would tell me that it was, and they would give me the details about me and all of you guys living multiple lives. When I was 4 years old, I was really amazed to like be back in my body, and I still have memory of that like it was this morning. So I think that my journey was a little bit different because even though I had gotten to the church for like two or so years, um, it was easier for me to just go straight into spirituality, because I was like, unless I'm just really crazy, I know the entities that speak to me. I know them better than my earthly family, because they're in my heart, they're in my body. Um, so let me see. Yeah, so I don't think this country will ever give us a full Black American. It's crazy how the first 5 presidents of Liberia were Black American descent. Really? But we can't get a president. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh my God. Yeah, Jeremiah 10:3 and 5. Monsanto, genetically modified. Yes. Y'all, if y'all know my old Ayaba days, y'all know I used to go hard about genetically modified organisms. I used to be like a scientist breaking that down. Oh, okay. I feel like I remember you. What's up, Atmosphere? How are you? It's been so long. So, y'all, let me know if y'all have any questions. Let me know if y'all want me to talk about something. Tell me something that you're experiencing. What do you have a question about? A personal question about your life or your journey. Look at my email up. Let me see if I can check these comments over here. Facebook. I was talking about energy, protecting yourself. What's up, sis? Tori? What's up, boo? I don't know if you're still on here, if I missed you, because these comments come in slow. Tori is someone who got a session with me. She's one of the first sessions that I recorded for the MDR session, the multi-dimensional regression. Her session was amazing. She's the one who was a slave in another life. I mean, not a slave. She wasn't. Well, she kind of was, but she ended up leaving, running away, and going to a free place. Is there a difference in spiritual energy stemming off in the U.S.? Yeah, this is a good question. Is there a difference in spiritual energy stemming off in the U.S. and how did you adjust to it? It definitely is. It's a huge difference. If y'all have been here with me, then y'all know that I was thinking about this earlier today. When I was in America, I was depressed, man. I don't even know how I was having happy days. Like, whew, baby. Y'all know a lot of people that are new here, when I talk about America, they be like, "Oh, you're just saying that because you're gone." But when I was in America and I was talking shit about America, people was like, "Well, then you need to leave." And they didn't even know that the last 8 years I had been like already very publicly talking about getting out. So I ain't never switched it up. It's always been the same energy when it comes to how I feel about being there and living there. And to me, it's not even nothing out the ordinary. It's real simple. Like, we're talking about energy, right? That's what this topic is here. I can feel the energy there. I can feel our ancestors that were swinging from trees and that were buried underneath things. You know, I was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where like the house that I owned was on the streets of Black Wall Street that were burned down and destroyed. So I could feel that energy really strongly, and it would make me depressed. I would be having lots of anxiety and not feeling that place. And I'm talking about since I was a little girl. My father was traveling all the time. He was in the industry. So he did a lot of traveling around the world, and he would bring back souvenirs and stuff. And I think that definitely made me want to leave the country maybe first. But on top of that, I just really young had this obsession with like getting the hell out of there. And then as I got older and then as I started learning things, I was just like, no, you can't, you really can't be aware and be in a country like America for real. Like not the whole time. You got to leave sometimes because it's just too much energy. Every corner you turn, everywhere you go, you see the truth. Like you see stuff. It's just crazy. In Oklahoma, they got like streets named after white men that caused genocide, and it's just you just see a bunch of bullshit everywhere. You just it's like it's crazy. So for me, just that alone is a big difference for me living here. I don't experience any of that. Mostly everybody look like me. So that's not there. And there's not a bunch of like the thing about America and here is that they retell the story. There's trauma that happened here, even us leaving here. One of my friends was just telling me about a story. I don't know what it's called, but he was saying that it happened in this neighborhood that I'm living in, but it was like obviously freaking hundreds of years ago. But it's like this, they have a name for it, but it's like when the colonizers came to get people from Senegal. If y'all don't know, Senegal is the closest point to America. So this country is where the biggest slave trade was. The largest slave trade because it was the quickest route from here to like to New York. So so he was telling me about how there's this story, this famous story that they all know here, about there being like a group of women who didn't want to go, like they were going to try to take them on the boat and go to America, and the women had children and they were schooling girls, so they put them all in the house and they burnt themselves up so that they wouldn't have to go on the boat off to America. So I know this is like gruesome and that was like really graphic, but I'm talking about this because it's real. And we don't retell those stories. Our stories in America of our history and things like that, the really horrible things that happened to us, we don't retell those stories anymore. So my real belief is that the freedom that could be taking place, like the freedom of those energies that I would be feeling there or that I feel when I come there, because it's even worse now. When I've been back to America these last two times, it's even stronger than it was before when I come. And I really believe that that's because we don't retell the stories. Here, they retell their stories. They have a whole like museum situation where you can go to the door of no return and you can see where the ship pulled up and went off to America. And those ancestors are able to be free and able to cross over into the light and continue on their soul journey. For us, ours are stuck there. Now, I have had some confirmation about this. When I was a Christian, since we were talking about religion, when I was leaving Christianity, I'll never forget this dream that I had. It was like I was laying in a pool of blood, and an image of Jesus pulled me out of the pool, out of the tub. So it was a tub of blood, not a pool. And what he said to me when he pulled me out was that I would have to be the one to free the ancestors that were in Oklahoma. I was like, hell no. In the dream, I was like, no, no, leave me alone. I don't want to do any of that. I woke up out my dream saying, hell no, leave me alone. I'm not releasing nobody. If y'all know me, I've been very public about how I don't like scary movies. I don't play with that kind of stuff. Okay. So, so I was really freaked out about this dream, and I didn't think anything of it until it just so happened, mind you, this was like 10 years later almost. when I'm on my way here to Senegal, and we're going from Atlanta. We stop in Oklahoma so we can go off to New York and come here, right? So while we're in Oklahoma, it just so happened that these 2 months that the kids and I stayed there, we happened to stay in front of this cemetery that at the time, if y'all from Tulsa, then y'all know that 4 years ago there was an old man that died and said that he was there during the massacre and he remembered them dropping bodies in this hole in the cemetery. So they were at the time digging up this space to see if there were really, because they act like they didn't know it was bodies there. So mind you, way after this dream, right? I'm talking about 8, 9 years later, after this dream that I have, I am now on my way to Senegal, and we just so happen to be in front of this cemetery. And it just comes to me that I'm supposed to free the ancestors at the cemetery. Okay? Like, I'm like, what? No, I don't want to do this. But I just felt it so strongly. I just knew that my guides were telling me to go back into that dream I had and remembering that I was told that I was going to do that. So y'all may or may not remember that I actually made a post about it because I used to tell the story of the massacre a lot, which is already, I didn't know that was a part of freeing that energy there. But especially now because they didn't change the story around. There's so many details that were not on the internet, 13 years ago when I first found out about it. But so I made a post about it, and what I wanted was for all these spiritual women and men that are around and in Tulsa, I wanted for everybody to come and for us to do this together. So I made a big post about it. I went live at the cemetery and I was like, hey, we're going to do this ceremony here. I'm going to tell the story of the massacre of Black Wall Street first, because that's the real story that needs to be focused on, where we had these hospitals and these schools, and we were the richest town in the entire country. Okay. According to New York Times, there wasn't another city that was a wealthier town than what the children of slaves had created, just a couple of hundred of them in this small little city that I was born at, right? So I went live and I tried to promote it and tell people to come, and all these people was like, oh yes, this is so dope, I'm gonna be there. And then nobody showed up. So it was just me and one other girl that showed up. Long story short, we went out 5 o'clock in the morning. I tell the story about Black Wall Street and all the amazing things that were in existence then. We go through the story of how the whole thing started with a white girl, which I don't know why we don't put more emphasis on that. But and then we go into the whole story. There's actually a list of people who died that day that you can pull up, and you can see that all of the people on the list are not Black, because although it looks like, just like with the Native Americans and even with the slave trade and stuff, we think that people wasn't putting up a fight and nobody was doing nothing else. But it's a lot of white people on that list. It definitely wasn't us just, oh my God, and just laying out. It wasn't like that. So I tell that story. We do libations and everything. It was really amazing. And you can feel, now mind y'all, I'm not even into this kind of stuff. I don't be into that like setting up the altars and the ancestor stuff. I kind of had a little experience doing that. I come from a family of Native American women who were all about that. So I definitely grew up watching my aunties do stuff like that. But it just haven't resonated with me. And I think that's because of the type of guides that channel me have not reincarnated. So I just think that I feel a little bit more connected to like a higher frequency of beings. So I'm not even that girl to be like out here with offering food and lighting candles and stuff. And I'm out here fulfilling this fucking nightmare. I'm gonna call it a nightmare. And I actually did it, and it felt amazing. And I really do think that a lot of our ancestors were freed. I gave them permission to go to the other side. And that's what's needed. When you retell a story of a group of people that had such a gruesome ending, you free that energy. So that energy is no longer there. It doesn't have to be there in a negative way. So that's what we don't do in America. So It's definitely a lot stronger there. I also would say that, and it could be because we're closer to the equator here. It could be because I love the water. It could be because of all the other aesthetics of just Africa. Um, this is a different ass place. Like, I talk about this because the thunder is different, the ocean is different, the sky is different, the stars and the moon, they're so close. I am a star and a girl. I mean, I am a star and a moon girl. So I have spent my entire life looking at the stars and the moon. I know for a fact the stars and the moon are way closer here. It looks like you can like, it looks like if we created a tower and we put like another tower on top of a tower, we can reach the moon. I'm not even exaggerating. If you've been here, then you know that this is a real thing. This is a, when I bring this topic up amongst diasporans that are here, we all agree. Like, no one disagrees with what I'm saying. It looks like the moon is so much closer here. The stars are so much closer. The thunder feels like it will break your back. This is not normal thunder. This is some African thunder. And it will, like, I'm not even afraid of thunder. The thunder here is like an earthquake. And that might sound like I'm describing something in our country, because the thunder there can be really loud too. But this is different. This is African thunder. And I'm telling y'all, this is a common conversation that we all have because we know the difference. Another thing is the cows, you guys. People laugh at me when I say this. Their cows, they have more like, I don't even know what to call it, but like the way that the cows sound and the way they look is powerful. They be like, like it's like, it's like our cows be like moo moo moo. It's like, it's different. Like our cows got like this black and white spots. They look pretty. These cows got horns that are like longer than my arm, and they walk around like bulls, like giants. Like it's a spiritual experience. And they're outside all the time. Like, we come out our house, the kids, they feed the cows every day. But it's a different experience. Like, just hearing them move, it's deep. Like everything is so much deeper here. It's so funny, but I swear to y'all, it's true. The first thing my kids said, my kids have been to beaches across the country, like from New York to LA. They've been to a lot of different plains of water, a lot of different beaches. And as soon as we came here, they was like, Mama, the beach is active, like it's alive. That's what they said. As soon as we made it to the beach, they was like, Mama, this beach is alive. It's a big difference. I can't even explain it, y'all. It just gotta be, it's just gotta be a spiritual, deep ass place. Cause what else is all that? Like mm, let me see. I take you had, hold on, wait. Okay, let me go back up, y'all, so I don't skip. I'm new to this channel and I kind of forgot why I subbed. Dang, you forgot, John. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, stick around. I take you had no problem gaining new spiritual allies. Um, yeah, that's a big problem here. But no. No. I'm just, it's still just me. I'm just always yeah. Um, nah. It's just me who's really like I don't even know how to answer that. But yeah, no, I think that most people here are religious, even people from the diaspora. I have recently, I recently have had a sister who can kind of keep up, and I really am so grateful for her because she helps validate a lot of my journey that I was talking about in the beginning. What is this? Something hard in my bed. Um, it was like my crowy shell. Um, but yeah, she's definitely came through and she's someone that I can really speak to. And I didn't know how much I was like really needing a friend that I can like have in person. 'Cause I mean, my friends and who are spiritual are not here. Obviously, they're in the States. But having someone here that I can like go to the beach and like sit down and we comb through stuff, and I can say I seen this thing, and I heard this person's thought or something. I can say the weirdest shit and she can get it and not judge me. So I definitely have just recently. The cool thing about me and this girl's connection is that we actually met in the States. We met random as hell in the States. One day I seen a post about a reggae, like a soca reggae fest, and I wanted to go and for my birthday, and I ended up meeting her there. I made a post about how I didn't have no friends that would like wanted to dance soca reggae, so I was going to be alone. And then a lot of other women responded and was like, "Dang, me too." So we all met random as hell. Excuse me. And this is the girl that is here now today, 5 years later, who is my only spiritual friend here. So that is so dope because we definitely needed each other. And the friendship is great. She doesn't like obligate me. She don't be trying to like bother me all the time. And like, I'm sorry, y'all, but come on, like women, we be doing too much sometimes. We be doing way too much, thinking too damn much. I don't feel like I have to like think and, oh wait, was she saying this? Like, did she really mean this? Because she was joking and what she said was rude or something. Like, we don't deal with that bullshit. We just be chilling. So I'm really grateful for her. She'll probably be on my live one day, I'm sure. I've been trying to get her on here actually. Oh, okay. You said I'll be there soon, and that's my mission, to gain new found family and friends. That sounds really nice. Look, y'all, I'm gonna be so honest with y'all. It's not that vibe. It is not the when we're talking about diasporans, I have a connection with a lot of Senegalese people because I came in here like local as hell. I didn't come in here on some like bougie tourist. I shouldn't say bougie. I don't mean that you're being bougie, but I didn't come here on some tourist stuff like avoiding the markets and afraid to do certain things. So I definitely have that connection with a lot of Senegalese people. And of course, I do have some women from the diaspora that I am good associates with. But I'm going to be honest, you guys, you probably see me talk about this. When you leave a country and you go into somewhere like Africa, that is a different planet, and you go to a different planet that is a foreign language, all your shit comes out. All the shit that you've been hiding, what people don't realize is that when you're in your space, in your home, your hometown, or in your country, and you're going to work and you're independent because you're driving and you got all your stuff, however it is that you've created this world for you, in whatever bubble and whatever illusions that you've created, that's what you're doing every day. You're in routine of that and you do it so well. But when you come to a place like this, and everything is brand new and you have to learn to adapt, and you're stripped from yourself and you're stripped from things, a lot of your for real inner self, a lot of your survival self is going to come out. So what I have learned, and I really need to talk about this a lot more, I was talking about this like last year when I was doing my Earth is School episodes, but what I've learned is that a lot of our trauma comes out here. If you are aware enough to know that living in America, you got trauma, that loud noises make you want to duck and move, that you can't really deal with people walking right behind you, which is what they do here, certain things like that. If you already know that now, when you get over here, it's going to come out in ways that you can't even think of. So what I have experienced more here, honestly, is a lot more of people's trauma. When we're talking about people from the diaspora, I have dealt with a lot more of experiencing people in survival mode. And yeah, like the trauma of Americans coming out, the way that we are wish-washy with our energy. And yeah, I mean, I could just go on and on. There's a lot of different levels, but I'm talking about with women. I mean, I had one of my Senegalese friends, he told me last year, he was like, I don't care what Americans hit you up and tell you they're coming, I'm not helping you no more with Americans, because that is how much drama he has experienced with us. So yeah, it's definitely not the peachy, sisterhood circle kind of thing. Like, we do have groups, we have local groups where we are really supportive in group form, like over the phone. Recently there's one of the groups that have been trying to get together and do stuff, and that's really good. But I think we all can agree, if all of us have been here for at least, like, if we don't have the lens that we normally come here with, if you're like me and you're like a girl's girl and you was like, oh my God, like, let's get together, da, 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 then normally when you first come here, you think that that's going to be a thing. So you kind of like, you think that's going to be a thing, and you're excited and you're looking forward to that. And then you start to have more experiences and you start to notice and see things. It might take you like a year, maybe two, for you to realize that just because you came here on some, like, you gotta, do whatever for your kids, and you're aware of this and that, it doesn't mean that that's why other people came here. And it doesn't mean that everybody is going to be on this, like, circle, this sisterhood vibe, even if they talk about it. People really don't know what that is, and it doesn't matter if they move to Africa. Honestly, that doesn't mean any of that. Why did the live end, bruh? Why is it saying that my live end? Can y'all see me? It said that it ended. Read the non-human part, Daylight. Okay. This is very true. Why did my live end over here? Why is Facebook continuously hating on me though? Yeah, it's a lot, guys. Yeah, Senegal is a Muslim country. That is weird. Thank y'all for letting me know. But it literally says here that my live ended. So yeah, y'all. I need to do a video. I gotta stop playing. I keep saying that. Um, it's just women all around the world. It's not even like American women, although, like I said, I feel like I am very on point and accurate with my philosophy that leaving from one place to another, especially a foreign place, being in survival mode, that whole thing, and then you come from America, you got all this trauma, so it's coming out in full force and you don't even notice it. People come here and they like try to reinvent themselves, because when you've been doing the same routine and the same thing and you've been living in whatever lies you've been living, you don't know. Like, you're out here just like, what do I do? Where do I go? Like, how do I do this? Oh my God, this is not the same thing as this, yada, yada, yada. So then they'll try to like reinvent themselves because nobody knows them. So they can just come through and be like whatever it is that they tell people that they are. But a lot of people aren't really that. So it'd be a lot. But I definitely have learned, and I'm so grateful for that, because I came in here like, everybody I meet, if you from America, if you a woman, especially if you a single woman, come to my house, meet my children, we will be together. Like, I definitely came through here like that and had to learn real fast, slow it down, be realistic. They lie. To clarify, I wasn't speaking of human allies. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, nice. Oh, definitely. You see how I just went in? Okay, that what I just shared needed to be shared then. For whoever is coming here. Definitely spiritual allies. I mean, you don't have a problem finding them because they're always with you. That's not something you have to ever search for. They're with you all the time. You are never alone. There's not 1 second. It's impossible. That's hilarious. It's because I'm not reading y'all's comments right away. I was like, non-human allies. What is that for? Like, that's so funny. I don't know why this live ended though. Let me refresh it. So yeah, you guys, here I go. 1 hour and 28 minutes. It is too easy for me to go over an hour. I'll be like, I'm gonna do 20 minutes, 30 minutes. That never happens. Thank you guys, though, for tuning in. Let me check and see if I have. Oh, my mom was in here. Let me take this off. So I guess I'm going to go, guys. If you guys are interested in a session with me and you don't know that I am an intuitive coach, I also can take you into another life. If you have loved ones who have crossed over and you would like to speak to them, or if you would just like to speak to your soul team and you need answers, I can take you into that realm to do that. That is what I do. And also, I coach people. And like we were saying yesterday, I just change people's lives. If that's what you want, then you can come to my website. Real easy, real simple. Earthisschool.com. Where is this site at? Earthisschool.com. What else? Share this live if you liked it. You're so welcome. Thank you for coming in. I think you missed the live yesterday. I love seeing my everyday day ones on here coming in. I remember all y'all's names. Like it's like a thing on an accident that I do. So I do pay attention. I do know those of you who are like consistent, and I really appreciate you. So, all right, y'all. Until next time. Oh. Myers-Briggs. That sounds familiar. Is it like personality type A, B type shit? Let us know what it is. I feel like they might have mentioned that, like when I was going to school for psychology or something. Myers-Briggs. What personality type am I? If you know, off the top of your head, from the Myers-Briggs personality type chart. Y'all know what is crazy too right now? What's been happening? It's been like cool all day, and then it gets hot at night. It's like we be sweating. At least I do. It's crazy. I wasn't even hot when I came on this live. This is a lot. I'm seeing INTJ, INTP, ENT, FNOP. What is this? Poetic kind, charismatic. Okay, the advocate, quiet, mystical, idealist, the architect, imaginative, strategic planner. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a little test. I like little stuff like this. When you said intuitive coach, that's what it reminded me of. Really? So this is more like a spiritual personality type thing. Artistic, charming. I feel like 3 of these describe me. I'm still learning, but you are definitely intuitive. Oh, this is cool. I'm normally seeing like the very like the very mental definitions of personality types, like very psychological. I never see um, something that would consider like intuition and stuff, or poetic. I see. Okay, cool. All right, y'all. Okay, yeah, yes, I'm gonna do the test. I'll probably be back tomorrow, most likely. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Until next time, peace out. Thank you for rolling with a sister.